You don't need a grand plan to change your life. Sometimes, it starts with the smallest, most silent of actions. It was the eve of the new year, and the streets of the small village were alive with laughter, music, and the smell of freshly baked bread. Amidst the festivities, an old woman sat by the well, weaving a garland of wildflowers. Her hands moved slowly but steadily, each knot deliberate, each flower carefully chosen. As a young girl passed by, she stopped and asked curiously, "Grandmother, why are you making this garland tonight? Are you joining the celebration?" The old woman chuckled softly, her eyes twinkling under the dim light of the lantern. "No, child, this garland is not for me. It's for the tree outside the temple, the one that gives shade to the tired travelers all year long. I thought it deserved a little gratitude before we welcome the new year." The girl's eyes widened. "But it's just a tree. It doesn't know what you're doing." The old woman tied the final knot and placed the garland in her lap. She looked at the girl and said, "It doesn't matter if it knows. What matters is that I know. And in knowing, I feel peace." As the new year approaches, we often find ourselves reflecting on what we've accomplished and what we hope to achieve. Resolutions fill our minds: to lose weight, to earn more, to travel far. But what if this year we focused on something deeper? Something that doesn't need to be measured in numbers or trophies? What if we committed to one simple act every day? An act that could transform not only our year, but also our hearts? In this episode, I invite you to explore a practice rooted in gratitude and silent action. A practice that aligns with the spirit of renewal and hope that comes with each new year. Together, we'll uncover stories, insights, and steps to make 2025 a year filled with meaningful impact and inner peace. Stay with me as we embark on this journey, a journey to discover the profound beauty of small, intentional acts of kindness and reflection. Planting the seeds of silent transformation. As the new year unfolds, we often envision grand transformations, bold leaps that will redefine our lives. But have you ever paused to consider the power of small, silent acts? Let me share another story with you. In a bustling city, a young man named Arun worked tirelessly as a janitor. In a large office building, his work was largely invisible, his name forgotten by most who walked past him. Every evening, long after the employees had left, Arun swept the floors, polished the desks, and ensured the space was ready for the next day. One evening, as Arun cleaned the conference room, he noticed a pile of papers left behind. Among them was a small notebook, with a name etched on the cover: Maria Gonzalez. Arun recognized the name. Maria was a senior executive, known for her sharp intellect and high expectations. Instead of simply placing the notebook in Lost and Found, Arun decided to leave it on her desk, with a short note: "Found this in the conference room. Thought you might need it tomorrow. Have a good evening." The next day, Maria walked into her office and saw the note. For a moment, she paused. Who had taken the time to do this for her? As she read the note, a sense of gratitude and warmth washed over her. Weeks later, Maria spotted Arun cleaning near her office. She stopped, smiled, and said, "Thank you for finding my notebook. You didn't have to, but it meant a lot." Arun simply nodded, a quiet smile on his face. He didn't do it for recognition. He did it because it was the right thing to do. This small act might seem insignificant, but it planted a seed of connection, kindness, and mutual respect. In many ways, Arun's action embodies what I call silent transformation, the ability to create change through actions that are subtle, selfless, and sincere. This concept mirrors a teaching in Buddhism about dana, the act of giving. It isn't about the size of the gift or the recognition it brings. Instead, it's about the intention behind the act. When we give from a place of compassion and selflessness, we enrich not only the lives of others, but also our own hearts. As we step into 2025, let's reflect on this. What small, silent acts can we incorporate into our daily lives? Could it be a gesture of gratitude to a stranger, a helping hand to a colleague, or even a moment of kindness to ourselves? Remember, Transformation doesn't always have to be loud or visible. Often, the most profound changes happen quietly, within. The spiritual power of small actions. 1,000 candles can be lit from a single flame, and the life of the candle will not be shortened. This timeless Buddhist teaching reminds us that even the smallest acts of kindness can illuminate the lives of many. As we navigate through 2025, let's take a moment to explore why such actions, though seemingly minor, hold immense spiritual power. At its core, an act of kindness is much more than the deed itself. It is a manifestation of qualities like compassion, or karuna, generosity, or dana, and loving kindness, or metta. When you offer help without expectation, you transcend the boundaries of self-interest and step into a space of true selflessness. Let's break this down into 3 key spiritual lessons. First, compassion as a universal language. In a world that often feels divided, compassion bridges gaps. Imagine standing in a long line at the grocery store. The person in front of you struggles with their bags. You step in, offering a hand. They don't ask. They don't expect it. And yet, that simple act creates a connection, a moment where differences fade and humanity shines. Second, generosity enriches the giver. It's a paradoxical truth. The more you give, the more you gain, not in material wealth, but in spiritual richness. Generosity doesn't always mean donating money or resources. Sometimes, it's about giving your time, your attention, or even a kind word. These moments have the power to lift others, while filling your heart with a profound sense of purpose. Third, the ripple effect of kindness. Acts of kindness are like pebbles dropped into a still pond. The ripples extend far beyond the initial impact. Think about Arun's story from earlier. His simple gesture of returning a notebook not only brightened Maria's day, but also reminded her of the value of gratitude. Who knows how many lives were indirectly touched by her renewed sense of appreciation? Practical steps to start today. How can we begin incorporating this practice into our daily lives? Here are a few simple suggestions. At home, start your day by doing one thoughtful act. For a family member, it could be as small as making their coffee or leaving a kind note on the fridge. In public, look for opportunities to assist strangers. Hold the door open, offer your seat, or simply smile at someone who seems weary. At work, find a way to support a colleague, whether it's helping with a task or just checking in to see how they're doing. For yourself, don't forget that kindness begins within. Take a moment to acknowledge your efforts, forgive your mistakes, and care for your well-being. As you embrace these small, intentional acts, remember, the goal is not perfection. It's about creating moments of meaning and connection, both for others and yourself. Stay with me, because in the next part, we'll dive even deeper into how these actions align with timeless Buddhist principles and how they can guide us toward lasting inner peace. Bridging everyday acts with timeless Buddhist teachings. Peace comes not from seeking it directly, but from living in alignment with the truth of our existence. As we've explored, small acts of kindness carry immense power. But why do they resonate so deeply? To understand this, we turn to the timeless teachings of Buddhism, which illuminate the profound spiritual significance behind these simple actions. The principle of dana, generosity. In Buddhist philosophy, dana is the first step on the Eightfold Path and a cornerstone of spiritual growth. It is the practice of giving, without attachment or expectation. When you help someone without being asked, you are embodying dana in its purest form. For example, think back to the old woman in the first story, who wove a garland for the temple tree. Her act was a silent offering, not for recognition, but as an expression of gratitude. Such actions align with the Buddhist teaching that generosity purifies the mind and fosters a sense of interconnectedness. Metta, loving kindness in action. Metta, or loving kindness, is another central tenet of Buddhist practice. It's the unconditional goodwill we extend toward all beings, regardless of their actions or circumstances. When you hold the door for a stranger, or offer a kind word to a colleague. You are practicing metta. These small gestures ripple outward, creating a chain of positivity that can uplift entire communities. The concept of anatta, non-self. One of Buddhism's most profound teachings is anatta, the idea that the self is an illusion, and we are all interconnected. When you perform an act of kindness, you dissolve the boundaries of self-centeredness. In that moment, you become one with the person you're helping, sharing their joy and alleviating their suffering. The path to inner peace. How do these teachings translate into inner peace? First, releasing expectations. When you give without expecting anything in return, you free yourself from the burden of disappointment. The act itself becomes its own reward. Second, cultivating gratitude. By focusing on what you can give, rather than what you lack, you naturally cultivate a sense of abundance and gratitude. Third, strengthening awareness. Each act of kindness requires you to be present, to notice opportunities where help is needed. This mindfulness deepens your connection with the present moment, the only place where peace can truly exist. A simple meditation to align with these teachings. Before we move on, I'd like to share a short meditation practice to help integrate these principles into your daily life. First, find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. Second, close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Third, bring to mind a recent act of kindness you performed, no matter how small. Fourth, reflect on how it made you feel and the impact it might have had on the other person. Fifth, silently repeat this phrase. May my actions bring peace and joy to others, and may they guide me toward inner peace. Spend a few moments sitting with this feeling before returning to your day. In the next part, we'll explore how this practice of silent kindness can transform not only your inner world, but also the dynamics of your relationships and your broader community. Stay with me as we continue this journey toward a more meaningful 2025. Transforming relationships through silent kindness. In the silence of giving, we find the loudest echoes of connection. Imagine a world where kindness becomes second nature, not something we plan or announce, but an intrinsic part of who we are. This vision isn't far-fetched. It begins with small, intentional actions that nurture our relationships and ripple outward into our communities. Kindness as a bridge in relationships. In every relationship, be it with family, friends, or colleagues, silent acts of kindness serve as bridges, mending gaps and strengthening bonds. Consider this scenario. A father returns home after a long day, his face weary from hours of work. His teenage daughter notices, though he doesn't say a word. Quietly, she sets a cup of tea on the table beside him and returns to her homework. The father looks at the tea, then at his daughter. A small smile breaks through his tired expression. She didn't ask if he needed it, nor did she expect thanks. But that one gesture spoke volumes. It said, "I see you. I care." These moments, though fleeting, create threads of understanding and empathy that weave stronger relationships over time. The ripple effect in communities. Silent kindness isn't limited to personal relationships. Its impact can extend to entire communities. Imagine a neighborhood where every person contributes something small, a cleanup effort, a warm greeting, or a helping hand. The collective energy of these actions fosters trust, unity, and a sense of belonging. Here's a real-life example. In a small rural village, an elderly man spends his mornings planting trees along the roadside. When asked why, he simply says, "I may not see them grow, but someone else will enjoy their shade." Over time, his quiet dedication inspires others in the village to join him. Together, they transform their once barren roads into avenues of lush greenery, a legacy for generations to come. How to start in your own circle. You don't have to orchestrate grand gestures to make a difference. Here are 3 ways to practice silent kindness in your relationships and community. First, notice and act. Pay attention to the unspoken needs of those around you. Whether it's refilling someone's water glass or helping carry their groceries, these small actions can mean the world. Second, Celebrate in private. After performing an act of kindness, take a moment to reflect on how it made you feel. Celebrate the act, not for recognition, but for the joy it brings. Third, involve others gently. Without imposing, invite others to join you. For instance, if you're cleaning up a park, let your children or friends tag along. Through your example, they'll see the value of silent contribution. A New Year resolution for connection. As 2025 unfolds, let's resolve to transform our relationships through kindness that speaks louder than words. By practicing silent generosity, we create spaces of trust, understanding, and mutual respect. In the next part, we'll explore the transformative impact of these actions on your own well-being, how silent kindness can nurture not just those around you, but also your own heart and mind. Stay tuned as we continue this journey of growth and connection. Nourishing your inner world through silent kindness. As we light the path for others, we naturally brighten our own. When we talk about kindness, we often think of its impact on others, how it lifts their spirits, eases their burdens, or brings them joy. But the beauty of kindness lies in its duality. Every act of kindness, no matter how small, also nurtures the heart and mind of the giver. The joy of giving without expectations. Think back to a moment when you helped someone unexpectedly. Perhaps you opened a door for a stranger or shared your umbrella during a sudden rainstorm. Do you remember the warmth that filled your chest? The smile that lingered on your face? That feeling isn't just a fleeting emotion. It's a reflection of our innate nature to connect and care. In Buddhism, this joy is known as mudita, sympathetic joy or the delight that arises from contributing to another's happiness. When we give without expectations, we break free from the cycle of attachment and aversion. We begin to act not out of obligation, but out of a genuine desire to bring harmony to the world around us. Cultivating mindfulness through kindness. Silent acts of kindness require presence. To notice when someone needs help, to step in without being asked. We must be attuned to the moment. This mindfulness, or sati, is a cornerstone of Buddhist practice. Each time we perform a silent act of kindness, we're also practicing mindfulness. We learn to observe, to respond rather than react, and to move through life with greater awareness. Over time, this practice deepens our connection to the present moment, the only place where true peace resides. Transforming the self through selflessness. One of the most profound effects of silent kindness is its ability to transform the way we see ourselves. As we engage in selfless acts, the illusion of a separate self begins to fade. We realize that our happiness is intertwined with the well-being of others. This realization aligns with the Buddhist teaching of anatta, the principle of non-self. By letting go of ego and embracing interconnectedness, we not only find inner peace, but also open ourselves to boundless compassion and wisdom. Practical reflections for personal growth. To integrate these insights into your life, consider the following reflections. First, start small and consistent. Begin each day with a simple intention to help one person. It doesn't need to be elaborate. Even a smile can be transformative. Second, celebrate the joy within. After each act of kindness, take a moment to savor the joy it brings. Let this happiness motivate you to continue giving. Third, reflect on interconnectedness. In your quiet moments, meditate on how your actions ripple through the lives of others. This practice fosters a deeper understanding of your role in the greater web of life. A path of kindness, a path to peace. As we approach the heart of this journey, remember this: silent kindness is not just a practice, it's a path. It's a way of living that brings us closer to ourselves, to others, and to the truths that unite us all. In the next part, we'll explore how this path can lead to greater resilience and fulfillment, even in the face of life's challenges. Stay with me as we continue to unlock the transformative power of silent action in 2025. Building resilience through silent kindness. When life shakes the ground beneath us, kindness becomes the anchor that keeps us steady. Life is unpredictable. We all face moments of uncertainty, pain, or loss that test our strength and spirit. In these times, it can be tempting to retreat inward, focusing solely on our own struggles. But what if the key to resilience lies not in isolation, but in reaching outward through silent acts of kindness? Kindness as a source of inner strength. When challenges arise, the natural response is often to dwell on what we lack: time, resources, or energy. Silent kindness shifts this perspective. It reminds us that even in our most difficult moments, we have something to give: our attention, our empathy, our presence. Take the story of Raj, a middle-aged man who lost his job during an economic downturn. Overwhelmed by fear and uncertainty, Raj decided to volunteer at a local shelter, serving meals to those in need. At first, he saw it as a distraction from his problems, but over time, he realized something profound. As I gave my time and energy to others, I felt my own burdens grow lighter. Their gratitude became my strength. Their resilience became my inspiration. Through helping others, Raj found the courage to face his own challenges with a renewed sense of purpose. The ripple effect of resilience. When we engage in silent acts of kindness, we're not just helping others, we're creating a ripple effect of resilience. Here's how. First, empathy sparks connection. By focusing on the needs of others, we step out of our own pain and gain a broader perspective. This connection reminds us that we're not alone in our struggles. Second, gratitude fuels optimism. Witnessing the impact of our actions cultivates gratitude, not just for what we have, but for the opportunity to make a difference. Gratitude, in turn, nurtures hope and positivity. Third, acts of kindness build confidence. Each small gesture reinforces our ability to create change, even in challenging circumstances. This sense of agency empowers us to face life's difficulties with greater courage. Practical applications for challenging times. Here are 3 ways to practice silent kindness during difficult periods. First, help without hesitation. When you see someone struggling, act. Whether it's offering words of encouragement or lending a hand, these small actions can uplift both them and yourself. Second, turn pain into purpose. Reflect on your own challenges and think about how they might help you empathize with others. For example, if you've experienced loss, consider supporting someone going through a similar experience. Third, create moments of stillness. Amid the chaos, take a moment to breathe, reflect, and ask yourself, what can I do right now to make someone's day a little better? This question shifts your focus from problems to possibilities. Silent kindness, a path to true fulfillment. Resilience isn't about avoiding hardship. It's about finding meaning and strength within it. Silent kindness offers us a way to transform our struggles into sources of growth and connection. It teaches us that even in our darkest moments, we have the power to be a light for others, and, in doing so, for ourselves. In the next part, we'll delve into how this practice can shape our legacy, ensuring that the small actions we take today resonate far into the future. Stay with me as we continue this inspiring journey. Crafting a legacy through silent kindness. What we leave behind is not measured in monuments, but in the hearts we touch. In the grand timeline of life, it's easy to feel as though our individual actions are but a drop in an ocean. Yet, history has shown us time and again that even the smallest ripples can create waves that last far beyond a single lifetime. Silent kindness is one such ripple, a legacy built not through grand gestures, but through quiet, consistent acts of care. A story of enduring impact. Many years ago, in a small mountain village, there lived a schoolteacher named May. Known for her gentle nature, May spent her evenings walking the village paths, picking up stray pieces of trash, and tidying neglected corners. She never spoke of her actions, and few noticed her efforts. But over time, the villagers began to follow her example. Children started cleaning their playgrounds. Merchants kept their shopfronts pristine. Years later, long after May had passed, The village remained a model of cleanliness and pride. Her silent kindness had sparked a tradition, a culture of care, that endured long after she was gone. The quiet power of legacy, the beauty of silent kindness, lies in its ability to transcend time. Unlike material possessions or accolades, acts of kindness leave behind something far more profound. First, inspiration for others. When people witness acts of silent kindness, they are often inspired to do the same. This chain reaction ensures that your actions live on through others. Second, cultural shifts. Consistent acts of kindness can shape the values of a community, creating an environment where compassion and generosity are celebrated. Third, personal fulfillment. Knowing that you've contributed positively to the world, even in small ways, brings a sense of peace and purpose that extends into your later years. How to build your legacy of kindness. Creating a lasting impact doesn't require extraordinary resources or influence. It starts with simple, intentional steps. First, be consistent. Small actions, done consistently, create lasting change. Whether it's planting a tree, mentoring a child, or simply showing kindness daily, consistency is key. Second, teach through example. Inspire the next generation by modeling silent kindness in your daily life. Children and young people learn more from what we do than from what we say. Third, think beyond yourself. Consider how your actions today might ripple outward. For instance, contributing to a community garden or supporting a local charity can create benefits that extend far into the future. A call to action for 2025. As we step into 2025, let us each reflect on the legacy we wish to leave behind. Imagine a world where every person commits to one act of silent kindness each day. The cumulative impact would be extraordinary, a testament to the power of small actions to shape a better future. In the next part, we'll explore practical ways to incorporate these ideas into your daily life and deepen your connection to the practice of silent kindness. Stay tuned as we continue this transformative journey together. Turning silent kindness into a daily habit. The things we do daily shape the people we become. Habits are the building blocks of our lives. They determine how we spend our time, how we interact with others, and ultimately, who we are. If silent kindness is to become a meaningful part of our lives, we must weave it into the fabric of our daily routines. Why habits matter. When kindness becomes habitual, it no longer feels like an effort. It flows naturally, seamlessly blending into your interactions and decisions. But building a habit requires intention and consistency. Consider this analogy. Planting a tree. At first, it requires effort, digging, watering, protecting it from harm. But once the roots take hold, the tree grows on its own, providing shade and fruit for years to come. Silent kindness works the same way. With deliberate effort, it can become an intrinsic part of your life, offering benefits to yourself and others over the long term. How to make kindness a habit. First, start small and specific. Choose one simple act of kindness you can perform every day. For example, smiling at the first person you see each morning, picking up one piece of trash on your way to work, sending a quick message of encouragement to a friend or colleague. These actions may seem minor, but their cumulative effect can be profound. Second, set triggers for your actions. Triggers are events or cues that remind you to act. For instance, when you pour your morning coffee, take a moment to reflect on someone you can help today. When you hear a notification on your phone, use it as a cue to send a kind message. Third, reflect and celebrate. At the end of each day, spend a few minutes reflecting on the acts of kindness you performed. Ask yourself, how did it make me feel? What impact might it have had on the other person? Celebrating these small victories reinforces your commitment and builds motivation. Overcoming challenges. Even with the best intentions, there will be days when practicing kindness feels difficult. Perhaps you're tired, stressed, or preoccupied with your own struggles. In such moments, remember, progress over perfection. Missing a day doesn't mean you failed. Return to your practice with compassion for yourself, kindness to self. On hard days, prioritize self-care. Treat yourself with the same kindness you extend to others. Building a kinder 2025, one day at a time. As we approach the heart of this journey, remember, habits are not formed overnight. They require patience, persistence, and a willingness to grow. By making silent kindness a daily practice, you not only enrich your own life, but also contribute to a ripple effect of positivity that touches the lives of many. In the next part, we'll explore how to measure the intangible but powerful impact of your kindness on both yourself and the world around you. Stay with me as we delve deeper into this transformative journey. Measuring the impact of silent kindness. Not everything that counts can be counted, and not everything that can be counted truly counts. One of the most beautiful aspects of silent kindness is its intangible nature. Unlike material achievements, its impact isn't measured in numbers or accolades. Instead, it's felt in the warmth of a smile, the easing of a burden, the quiet strength of a connection. How silent kindness transforms lives. First, for others, silent kindness creates a sense of belonging and mutual care. When someone receives an act of kindness, they often carry that feeling forward, inspiring others to do the same. Second, for yourself, practicing kindness fosters inner peace and resilience. It nurtures qualities like patience, empathy, and mindfulness, enriching your character and emotional well-being. Third, for communities. Over time, individual acts of kindness accumulate, shaping a culture of generosity and compassion. Communities built on these values are more resilient, harmonious, and supportive. Ways to reflect on your impact. While silent kindness doesn't seek recognition, reflecting on its effects can deepen your practice. Journaling. Keep a kindness journal to record your actions and how they made you feel. Meditation. Spend time in quiet reflection, visualizing the ripple effects of your actions. Conversations. Share stories of kindness with friends or family to inspire collective growth. Silent kindness may be invisible to the eye, but its impact is deeply felt in the heart. Conclusion. A new year, a new path. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. As we stand at the threshold of 2025, let us take that first step, not with grand declarations or elaborate plans, but with simple, silent acts of kindness. These acts, though small, have the power to transform not just our own lives, but the world around us. This year, let's commit to noticing the needs of others, acting without hesitation or expectation, reflecting on the joy and growth that kindness brings. By weaving silent kindness into the fabric of our days, we create a life of meaning, connection, and peace. So, as you move forward into this year, remember, every smile, every gesture, every silent act of kindness matters. Together, let's make 2025 a year filled with compassion, gratitude, and quiet transformation. May the blessings of the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha guide you on this journey. May you find happiness, health, and the wisdom to embrace the beauty of each moment. Thank you for being here, and may your silent kindness light up the lives of those around you.